Night Rain on Thursday, which that was a weird series of events where I didn't even know anything about it, didn't even know it was happening. And then my boy Caleb was like, "Yo, Night Rain." I'm like, "What?" I thought it was like the console only thing that they were doing or whatever. I have no idea like what the deal is with FromSoft. So, so that was interesting. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be doing freaking Night Rain stuff. So get your horsies ready, if you happen to have any horsies. Hello, YouTube. Sorry, I've been a little slow here. I'm trying to get your chat pulled up.
Maybe you'll eat some beef.
Fingolfin, hello. Yeah. Beef and coffee. Good afternoon, hello. Bop! Okay, blah, 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 blah. What?
Please show chat, Mari.
No.
Look at her.
Oh, yeah, they already saw her. Yeah, they can see her. Yeah, they can see her. I don't have a... Oh, dude, I can't not have a Discord picture notification. Frick.
Yeah.
Let's just...
Also, you can use my likeness without my
No.
freshness.
No. Oh, that's going to be funny. Maybe this one will be funny. Hang on. The Great Lifeweaver Pro Lifeweaver Analysis. And maybe some Overwatch 2 dictionary. Frick, whoops. First in your reality? Good for you, mate. I'm proud of you. Use the Lifeweaver meme? Which one? I already have a picture. Take a look at me now. I need to find the DreamHack Dallas. So SSG versus Crazy Raccoon Overwatch. Because that was like, I think one of the earlier times that we saw Lifeweaver being played. Yeah, I found it, I think. Dude, it's so freaking slow. Look at this. What is wrong with my internet? That's Havana. Oh, no, it was Falcons. It was Falcons, right, chat? Because I think SSG just got spanked. Sarah Lee sends Lifeweaver. I can't, dude. It's got the freaking F word. I'm not doing no profanity. Although I love me some soy jacks. What does it say? Right here, I'll pull it up. Jagger, thank you for the sub. Has a Mickey Mouse in it. Seriously, feels like it, man. Dude, what the frick, man? Okay, there's Ilios. I'm looking for the Circuit Royale. You guys remember the one from Dallas? Holy crap, I forgot about the delay. Yeah, I think I found it. Yeah, I found it. Okay, cool. We'll look at that later on. We're not going to start with Lifeweaver right away.
How's it going, old man?
It's going all right, Nodlin. I'm tired today. I don't know why. I just feel really tired today. The Midtown one, by the way? Yeah. Hello, nobody. Nice hair you got. Thanks, man. Okay. Let's take a look at this video. Somebody, Ryan, my YouTube guy, linked it to me because he's like, bro, this brother stole our thumbnail. And it does look awfully similar. Here, I'll show you guys. Their secret workshop here. Here. You guys tell me. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna sue the guy. He's more than welcome to it. I don't give a frick. Is it true that I'm secretly bald and wearing a wig? Yes. But apparently the video is supposed to be pretty good, so we're going to find out. We'll see if the video is pretty good. He's got no subscribers, but it seems like a high-effort video, man, and we're always on the lookout for some high-effort new up-and-comers. I wish I'd been given some attention early on when I was 3 years old. No. So if somebody else is putting in high-effort stuff and low subscriber content count, yeah. Yeah, all right, let's take a look here. Really fast. This is really fast. I'll change the headline in a second here.
Here is 2016, and Overwatch just released with 21 original heroes, each with their own unique and sometimes
we'll find brain rot to 1.2. There.
Problematic game plans. Competitive Overwatch players have been pushing the limits of what's possible for almost 10 years. The release roster was iconic, but looking back, it's crazy to think how far the game has come. Original Overwatch had a very different design philosophy from the one that we see today. The dev team wanted...
I think the original design philosophy we've talked about before was generally they have a... Okay, so actually I have a little bit of insight into this, and I think they've communicated this publicly. The general insight was that they have a character profile. This character behaves in this specific fashion. And if we have enough dynamics to the character that it gives them multiple different little things, then we should just split them into two characters. Genji Hanzo is the classic example, right? Where they have a character of like a blade and a bow. They go, no, let's just make it two different characters. And so if you've noticed, a lot of the characters that have survived and aged well have been the characters that have mobility, because mobility is by design dynamic. And there's multiple different ways that you can use mobility. So almost all the mobile characters in Overwatch 2 have done well. But you can really see that they had this design of where everything is kind of a caricature. It has that MMO World of Warcraft flavor, where it's like Symmetra does one thing and she does the one thing really well, but ask her to do anything else, complete butt cheeks. And so what you have is you have like every character is an ingredient for a cohesive team composition. So it's a very idealistic, a very role-centric, a very undynamic, simplistic view of how hero shooters and even the MMO genre could work, and it had a lot of personality. You know, say what you will about it, but there's a lot of personality in terms of how it's done. The problem is people don't always like to swap. The problem is that doesn't always mean that you have a good solution for the character that you're playing, or you can be held hostage by a teammate, or some characters are very, very, very one-dimensional, but also very, very easy to play. And so it was great fun, and I would not change a single thing about it. But my goodness gracious, I am so glad we do not have that same philosophy anymore. Yeah, every character in Overwatch was niche. Every character, with the exception of some of the mobile characters, but they were designed to be niche. That is what you can criticize them for what they wanted, but that is what they wanted. They wanted niche characters. Characters were designed to be a unique hero fantasy, and they just fit that mold. So that's that. No, it got linked to me, so yeah. Hey, Bennett.
To eventually be a complete game. In other words, they did not envision Overwatch as a live service game with frequent balance patches and updates. But as we all know, this approach to designing a competitive online multiplayer game just does not work in the current era.
Brain rotting.
Overwatch's reputation slowly deteriorated over the next few years. Does not work in the current era. Overwatch's reputation slowly deteriorated over the next few years, as pro players and average players alike started to call out the dev team for their mishandling of the game. In 2022, Overwatch 2 released. This time under different leadership with a new philosophy. Overwatch 2 made the switch from 6v6 to 5v5, a controversial move that left the community split. And 5v5 is likely easier to balance, and we've seen this large growth from the dev team in this regard since their beginning.
It's hard to say. I'm not saying I disagree, but I do think that like when people see you say it's harder to balance, people are going to immediately go to town about like so you can't balance super tank and so on, which I do think that there's some merit to that argument. But I think the general consensus that there are fewer moving parts. I don't know. Like it's hard. I would say you have to be really careful about comparing Overwatch 266 to Overwatch 166 because I think they're totally different beasts. I don't think Overwatch 266 is that hard to balance because I don't think sustain watch, shield watch, niche watch, right, where you have to pick this tank or this certain support otherwise you're throwing. I don't think that's as much of a thing anymore. So I think the game, there have been so many changes that have happened since. Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 that are relevant to the format, that it's really hard to compare. It feels like apples to oranges. Like the heal passive, the DPS passive, like I said, the nerf to sustain, the nerf to AoE sustain specifically, the overall increased skill floor of all characters across the board, the increased dynamics of all tanks. Hazard is a great example. He doesn't need an off tank to function. He would like an off tank, but he doesn't need one, right? You have generally DPS and characters that have more mobility and aren't relying off of being stuck in a choke if their tanks don't take space. So map design has gotten better. So I agree and disagree, but I think the reason why I want to highlight why I disagree is because I think it's also important to highlight why Overwatch 2 has done so well beyond the format.
Beginnings in 2016. People love to look at Overwatch's history with rose-tinted glasses, and while I too miss how the game used to feel, the reality is that we live in the present, and to be honest, I think the dev team has done a pretty good job of refining the game in the last few years. But why is that? I feel like, in recent times, Overwatch has cracked the code in terms of what makes a good hero design. What makes a hero both strong and... Overwatch has cracked the code in...
We've been complaining a lot about Freya. I think she's currently overtuned, will improve with the nerfs.
In terms of what makes a good hero design. What makes a hero both strong and fun to use. What makes a hero feel too oppressive to play against, because, as we all know, Overwatch has had its fair share of oppressive heroes. But most importantly, how do we give a hero good longevity? In other words, how will a hero stay relevant for years to come, even after new, shiny heroes try to take their spot? I think the answer lies in one simple concept, and how they carefully maneuver it as a metric. I'm talking about burst. Now,
burst! Not what I was expecting.
What is burst,
I saw the
and
thumbnail,
what makes it so effective as a hero design tool? In layman's terms, burst essentially refers to a hero's ability to do something quickly. Overwatch is a fast-paced game, and as the years go on, it's only getting faster and faster. In order to keep up, heroes need to have abilities that maximize execution and minimize setup. Ideally, with good timing and circumstances, you want to be able to press a button and derive value from that ability before your opponent can react to it accordingly. In this video, I will talk about 3 different types of burst: burst damage, burst mobility, and burst healing.
So, I will immediately... I'm going to immediately disagree, but I'm going to say my piece quickly and then let him have his argument. I think in general, Overwatch has been more of kits that have multiple different uses for the abilities, so there are fewer circumstances in which you can do nothing. Hazard can play into CC. Venture can play on long maps, short maps, high maps, low maps. Juno can play into snipers. Juno cannot play into snipers. Juno can play into dive. Juno cannot play into dive. Every ability can do multiple different things. A lot of it is mobility creep, because mobility is inherently the easiest type of ability to have dynamics, because you could use it offensively, defensively, but it's not just mobility, right? It's not just mobility. So let's see.
Let's start by talking about burst damage. Obviously, being able to do lots of damage very quickly is good. But what makes it better than slower, more reliable damage over time? Let's take Moira, for example. Her damage beam does slow, ticking damage over time that slowly eats away at her enemies. In a duel, Moira can be annoying to deal with, because she essentially acts as a ticking clock that will slowly but surely secure a kill if she's not dealt with properly. Moira is hoping that her self-healing and her opponent's inability to hit their shots will buy her enough time to secure kills. But against higher level players who know what they're doing, Moira's value as a dueling support goes down significantly. Her damage style, while being very effective in lower elos, is her detriment in higher elos. Her damage over time essentially means she has to reach a time threshold to achieve a kill against any given hero. While this is annoying, it gives her opponents lots of time to react and win the duel. This means if she ever finds herself face-to-face with a good Cassidy player, for example, she basically has no options to win the fight, because Cass can simply two-shot her in the head and end it then and there. Compare this to a hero like Kiriko, who has significant burst damage on her kunais, and she theoretically has the option to win the duel before Cass can chunk her down. But it's not just the amount of burst damage you do, but the method in which you deliver it. Someone might look at a hero like Junkrat and think, hey, this hero has a lot of burst damage, and he's still considered pretty weak in high-level play. Why is that? Let's take a look at what it looks like when Junkrat swings around a corner to kill you. Sure, he can get a kill in just over a second, but there is still ample time to react and respond. Junkrat's grenades are very slow-moving, and you even get 2 chances to dodge or counterplay the grenades before he can burst you down. That's even assuming the Junkrat player can hit 2 direct hits back-to-back reliably, which is a bit of a pipe dream if you consider how slow and telegraphed his grenades are. Compare that to someone like Freya, who can peek you around a corner and just do this to you. And you're starting to see why a hero like Junkrat struggles to compete in the current version of the game.
I just don't really agree. I think this is a well-made video, and I think there's some interesting questions and points, but I just don't agree. I think if you go through selectively, you can peek anything, but Lifeweaver is not particularly burst. Malga's not particularly burst. Juno is the antithesis of burst. Venture has about the same amount of burst as any of the characters, if not less. Hanzo, Widow, Roadhog. I'm trying to think here. We could keep going here. Torbjorn, same amount of fire rate. Cassidy, just as much. I don't agree. I don't agree. Let's keep going. Not from the burst damage side of things. I think you can selectively choose any sort of heroes, but I think Overwatch 2 ratio to Overwatch 1 ratio is about the same. About the same. Thanks, Tap. Appreciate it. Hey, Gavin. Yeah, if anything, with post-season 9, there's been a cohesive effort to reduce burst damage with mixed results. I think that is a long discussion, but there's been at least some attempt for burst damage. Some attempt, right?
And just do this to you. And you're starting to see why a hero like Junkrat struggles to compete in the current version of the game.
Well, Junkrat just doesn't have the mobility for it. Junkrat doesn't have the utility for it. Junkrat has an archaic kit that really only does one thing, which is area denial. He's better at it than it used to be, but it's really like them trying to lipstick on a pig, right? It's getting there. Maybe it can get there, but right now it's still, he's still got a long way to go. He only does one thing really, really well, and particularly that thing isn't all that good in Overwatch 2.
Out of everything a hero can possibly have in their kit, I would argue that burst mobility is the single most important thing that contributes to a hero's long-term strength.
I just think mobility in general, frankly. I guess I get what he's saying about that. I think I do agree that burst mobility, but yeah, no, actually I agree. Burst mobility, because you could say soldier sprint and yeah.
If we take a look back at that original 2016 roster of heroes, the ones that have stayed relevant in the
yes, exactly. And even ones that have remained relevant infrequently have been ones that either have mobility or had tools with mobility that got enhanced. In other words, you look at Reaper, you look at Diva, you look at even characters like Ryan or whatever. Like, they're still very niche, but even Diva, Diva, Far, Reaper, we'll start with those three. Their mobility has been invariant. Their evolution of mobility has been why they've remained relevant.
Modern metagame are the ones with strong burst mobility options. Burst mobility might look like a short dash or some sort of leap, or in the case of Sojourn, a combination of the two. Soldier 76 with his sprint could theoretically cross large distances faster than Genji can, but if he finds himself in a bad spot and he's attracted too much attention, sprint isn't going to do.
Well, the other problem with sprint is that you can't do anything while you're sprinting, unless you have the perk, even then it's only a reload, right? That's the problem with sprint. It's not just that it's slow, it's because Juno's thing is slow as well, but she can shoot while she's sprinting. Soldier cannot.
A whole lot for him.
There's a choice.
This is why heroes like Tracer and Genji are so valuable at the highest level of play. They're able to hold angles that basically nobody else can. They both have the option of getting out of danger immediately, so they can position themselves in more aggressive and short-range offense.
Yeah, burst mobility 100%.
And sometimes, all a hero
100%.
needs is a little bit of burst mobility to nudge them in the right direction.
True.
Take Brig, whose shield bash used to be the most hated ability in the game by far. For those of you that didn't play Overwatch 1, bash used to stun. Not just in rally, but all the time. This made Brig super unfun and difficult to deal with, since she basically created a perimeter around herself that stopped.
I can't get over that, man. This hero is the worst. Gavin, I cover your ears. I hated the development philosophy of Overwatch 1 so much. Just cancer. This character is anti-dive. That's what she does. And just everything about it. It's not just, it's just the worst. I don't know how anybody would ever
from coming near her. This changed with the release of Overwatch 2, where the stun was taken away completely, and instead Shield Bash was given much more distance and turned into a burst mobility option. In my opinion, this was the single best change she ever received, as it still gave her an option to deal with high DPS flankers, while not being a direct hard counter.
Brigitte's rework is secretly one of the best that's ever happened in the game.
Brig go on massive flanks or take crazy positioning, but it gets her behind cover quickly and reliably, and that's the name of the game with burst mobility. The term burst healing might give some of you nightmares. I too played in the Brig bat metas in Overwatch 1 that everybody hated. Burst healing can be and has absolutely been broken in Overwatch before, but I would argue that burst healing of some capacity is a necessary evil to counteract the high amounts of burst damage present in the game. The trick is to have balanced burst healing that can help out teammates in a pinch, but not the type of burst.
See, I don't think Juno really has burst healing. Like, she has general burst healing, but it's not. Single target burst healing has always been the most toxic thing, right? Maybe general burst healing through like torpedoes, but I don't know. It's hard. It's a difficult. There's a line. Torpedoes is a general burst, but it's not a specific burst.
Healing that
so let's see if he
elaborates.
Whereas BAP's burst healing is more toxic off of the single target. I mean, it's pretty weak, let's be fair, but like it is more toxic off of a single target.
Baptiste was added to Overwatch in 2019.
And it's also not quantitatively as much as Shift is.
And proceeded to contribute to some of the worst metas ever because of his extreme sustain and healing output. Obviously, Immortality Field was a problem, but what most people might leave out when talking about BAP is his Shift, Regenerative Burst. This is an AoE burst heal that provides extra healing to low HP targets. Here's the problem with this ability. It is much too easy to use, it encourages teams to play grouped up and clumped around the Baptiste, and it provides no other value besides pure sustain.
Yeah.
Let's compare this to Juno,
Yeah.
a hero that was
Preach.
released just last year that, in my opinion, perfectly encapsulates what a modern support should look like. Her torpedoes are just another form
Nice
of burst
timing.
healing like Baptiste's. The difference is in how the burst is distributed. Torpedo has a real risk-reward element to it, as she has to find open space and potentially expose herself to get big value out of it.
True.
There's a lock-on time, and it's reactable, unlike Bap's Shift, which is an instant burst of healing with almost no opportunity for an opponent to respond. Torpedoes do not require a team to play grouped up, making her a complement to more mobile heroes, and it also serves as a form of offensive pressure as it can lock onto enemies too,
So there's a
making it
choice.
a much more dynamic and versatile ability. It also just heals less, and that's really important. What stands out to me is that the devs didn't just add an ability that heals more or heals in a bigger radius than Regen Burst. They made Juno and her torpedoes more dynamic to compete with Baptiste.
Yeah, he said the word!
And as a result, I feel like you see heavy sustain comps way less than you used to. So what does this
No, it doesn't heal more. Torpedoes is what, 80 healing?
all mean for Overwatch and the future of the game? I believe the game will become burstier and faster as new heroes release. High skill ceiling heroes will likely continue
It's going to be more mobile. I don't know if it's necessarily going to
to
become
find themselves
faster.
situated at the top
But I
of
guess
pro
if
meta.
you mean as
at
opposed
least
to
I hope
sitting
so.
at choke,
And I mean, you
but-
have to remember that there is a chance that the devs
85 with 50 over 2 seconds. Ah, okay, I see what you're saying.
mess it up again. But I like the direction that we're
Is it still less? Somebody do the numbers. On a crit target.
going in. There are so many more things I wanted to talk about in this video that just didn't make the cut. Like how I think
good
Sojourn is a
job,
healthier
good job.
adaptation
I'm
of
thinking
Widow,
offensive
or how
torpedoes.
Winston players have been optimizing his melee burst combos for years to squeeze every bit of value out of the character. But alas, the scope of this video proves to be larger than me.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was a good video. It was a good video. I just kind of like a slight segue there, but don't fully agree with some of the points, but I think the overall spirit of the video is really good. So shout out. That was nice. You can probably just look up the title. Burst, how Overwatch 2 modernized the roster. Or its roster, sorry. So, okay. I made a Reddit post while to discuss... yeah, well, we're not really discussing, like, reworks with Lifeweaver at all. We're just kind of more discussing why he's being played and how... I think there's, like, a pretty complicated discussion here. Sarah Lee, where's the spreadsheet? Sarah Lee freaking putting the spreadsheet. So, chat, shout out to Sarah Lee in the chat. Be friendly, because Sarah Lee put together this Google Doc with freaking all... like, look at this, fricker. Look at this. This does all the work for me. I didn't even ask for it. I was like, do you guys know where to? And so I was like, yeah, I got this. I was like, okay. Thank you. All right. Now, I want to talk about this a little bit. I don't just want to like look at the codes themselves, which we are going to do that. But there's been a couple of reasons why Lifeweaver is being played. What we're going to actually focus on first is not the strategy. Not the strategy first. That will come second. The first thing we're going to talk about is what has actually changed in the last year or two with Lifeweaver. Let me find patch notes here and we'll talk about it. So let's go all the way back to when we first saw Lifeweaver being played, okay? So we saw a brief little gimmicky Lifeweaver thing, and we'll talk about it. It was used versus a Rhine team, and they used it with a Pharah, and what the Lifeweaver dude would sit in the back, and he would pull the Pharah when she got too aggressive, or she'd let the Pharah go in really aggressively, and then or pull her out of her barrage, right? This was about a year ago, right? And so it was like a very niche strategy, very niche thing that would be done. Obviously, Rack Attack played about a year ago, but even before this, but that was kind of more of a gimmick. This is like a legitimate gimmick, if that makes sense. Like this is more of like a serious strategy done versus a very specific team. And you can kind of see it here. I think this is when the moment we'll see a barrage here. Let's see if we see it here. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, here's the barrage. barrage, and then there's the pull, all right? And so that's a very niche strategy. And we'll talk more about the strategy in a little bit. But since this sighting, let's talk about the buffs that Lifeweaver's received. Let's start with this one here. August. Healing now charges passively. So you charge your heal without even charging your heal. So you could do damage. Gives you a window to do damage. And it doesn't reduce your movement speed when you're holding full charge. So you have more freedom with your movement. Some small buffs, or some small nerfs, to Pedal Platform, and a little bit of nerf to Rejuvenating and Dash. So he's not quite as tanky, but has more opportunity to do damage. And here it comes. They're going to keep coming. More ammo with your damage. Lower cooldown on Life Grip. More healing on Life Grip. Big buff to the overhealth on Tree of Life. So you can walk out of its radius and maintain that overhealth, a little bit like Rally. Big buff to that. Life Grip gets Cleanse with the perk. Life Cycle. This is a big one right here. His perks are really good. Life Cycle activates 10 health per second, and then the Healing Seed. Remember that one? Parting Gift. That was part of his base kit. Couldn't believe it. Actually healed enemies back in the day. Well, they brought it back. But crucially, he has a permanent 10 healing per second. Permanent. And I'm pretty sure this actually feeds ult charge as well. So any chip damage you take, you don't have to wait for the support passive, the heal passive, or even the out of combat heal passive for everybody. You're just healing yourself. It's ult charge. Ult charge. Permanent, you hold charge. Life Weaving, Rejuvenating, and Dash adds more healing to your next healing blossom. Now, notably, this gets buffed a lot. It's still not very good. But the big one here, Thorns detonate for 30 extra damage when enough stick within 1.5 seconds. So more damage. Keeps going. More damage off of the Super Bloom perk. Number of hits to target increased, but the window of time is more forgivable. So it's easier to proc it, and it does more damage. We keep going. Projectile speed on his Thorn Volley is increased. So it's way easier to hit his Thorns from longer ranges. And Life even gets bonus again. Now his auto charge right for his healing is increased even further, so it's even more rewarding to do damage. And now the number of hits to trigger the damage thing is reduced again. So we've seen Life Weaving power creep over the last year, and in a lot of really cool and healthy ways. And generally, I've enjoyed playing versus Life Weaver from playing with Life Weaver and seeing professional Life Weaver a lot more than I ever have. He's actually a character that has still a lot of room to grow, but has overall progressed in a pretty interesting way. There's a lot of little things that you can do with his perks, and you could do with his kit. One little tidbit here, I will beg, I know people are going to hate me for this, we've talked about it before, I want Life Grip to be on a lower cooldown when used on full HP targets, or 75 plus HP targets, 75 percentage. I want it to be at a halved cooldown. I want it to be encouraged to reposition people more. I think if we saw that, we'd see this character picked a lot more in high ground maps, and it would significantly increase the skill cap. Yeah, he was probably the weakest character, easily the weakest character we've seen in Overwatch 2's release, and I want to say maybe the weakest character in Overwatch's release ever. That to mine, I've been here since right after, I think, Ana or Orisa launched. I have never seen a character in as bad of a state as Life Weaver, and it's not even close. So, long story short, Life Weaver has received a lot of damage buffs, some skillful survivability buffs, his ability to defend himself, and more so opportunities to do damage. So the reason I give you this context is because I think it's important to kind of highlight the character in a vacuum. Because when professionals play a character, a lot of it is due to the strategy and the things that the character that provides unique. But frankly, a lot of this stuff is still the same. The things that we're going to see done from the professional level with Lifeweaver are things that theoretically you could have done for a long time. They're not new little skills to Lifeweaver. The problem is that it wasn't worth what you gave up, whether it was the survivability, the damage, the healing, the ult value, whatever else. The opportunity cost of choosing Lifeweaver for that one niche was too expensive, and that's why you only really saw it in very, very specific circumstances. But now, those weaknesses are not as bad anymore. You actually can defend yourself. You could put out damage. You can do more consistent output of healing. Your ultimate value is generally a little bit higher, and the supports for pros, generally it takes a while for people to realize that, hey, maybe Lifeweaver is good. Pros don't want to play or experiment too much. Usually it's the ranked players that are experimenting. And so right now, we're in a situation where eventually these little things have caught up, and now maybe those bad downsides about Lifeweaver aren't as big of a problem anymore. He has the highest shield break in the support roster. To be honest, the funny thing, Pavel, is he's actually had the highest shield break of the support roster for a long time. I think for a year and a half, maybe longer. He's always, to my knowledge, since I've been coaching him, had the highest shield break. The question is how often do you shoot a shield as a support? How often is that damage the most effective thing that you can be doing? And again, the opportunity cost. But as we've seen, the tightening of the spread. So another little known fact, way back about a year ago, I believe he got a buff to his early spread in his first couple of shots. I don't know where that would be, but yeah, he got a buff to his spread on his primary fire in the first couple of shots, and obviously his projectile speed's been increased as well. So yeah, long story short, there's a lot of new things that Lifeweaver can do recently, but also some of those old things are even better, or it's less of an opportunity cost to pursue those things. So now we see Lifeweaver. Now, spoiler alert here for the strategy, we don't see Lifeweaver everywhere. It is still kind of a silly niche strategy, but there are some reasons to pick him. And shout out, like I said, to Sarah Lee here. Weaver, map 1, Oasis. So this is going to be Old Ocean versus Team Falcons. This is going to be Korean OWCS. And these are pro matches. These are some of the best teams in the world right now. Current meta we have right now is Freya. Freya is the dominator. Lifeweaver is pretty tanky, and so can live Freya's pressure, which is a huge reason why he's being played. But there's another reason why he's being played as well, and a lot of that is not just due to the fact that he can tank stuff, but also just the general damage and healing value that he can provide. There's a couple of reasons why you play Lifeweaver. Let's list a few of those reasons. 1, tank. In divier metas, he can live pressure from Tracers and Divas. He's got HP. He's got a self-heal. He's got a self-heal on a perk that never expires. He has Pedal, he has Life Grip, and he has I think a very strong support ult. Maybe not the strongest, maybe not even the top 3 or 4 strongest, but it is very consistent at just sustained, continuous output and overhealth. Very, very strong. So the ability to live, his ultimate, his ability to pull people if you can reposition, and then also his matchup versus Freya, while not able to shoot Freya out of the sky, he can tank and absorb a lot of her pressure without dying. So let's take a look here. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to be kind of learning along with you guys, so I'm going to kind of narrate what I see, and I'm also not going to guarantee that all of these Lifeweavers are playing Lifeweaver perfectly. Not all these pros, so we're going to be experimenting and looking at what they're trying to do, seeing if they succeed, and seeing what things that we can learn, that we can do, and things that maybe they could be doing better. So we're going to roll out on Lifeweaver. This is not the first place that I'd be playing Lifeweaver. I like high grunts with Lifeweaver, and I like congestion a little bit with Lifeweaver, but this is not exactly the verticality I'm looking for here. This is Freya. So let's just wait and see. Little healing, a little bit of vision. The key thing with Lifeweaver is baiting attention to yourself by taking more aggressive angles, but not doing so to where you die, right? So he's gonna kind of rotate. Though a lot of ranked Lifeweavers I see, especially mid to low ranks, play way too far away from the enemy team, especially when there's no dive threats. You are one of the tankiest supports in the game, so you do want to bait a little bit of attention onto yourself. So even here, right, I think Jaehan could be playing a little bit more proactive with his angles. I wouldn't necessarily be rotating in the open, but yeah, try to bait Tracer's attention. That's high value, right? Okay, maybe a little, he lost the fray there. Not the best. Okay, let's keep going here. Like I said, this is always really funny because they'll find a reason to pick the support, but, you know, maybe they don't have the reps. We're going to use Pedal to get this angle. Okay. Pocket the Freya. Pocket the Freya. Freya's done shooting. Now I shoot. I rotate forward. This is what Lifeweaver can do. You're not scared of this. You're not scared of this, even before you get the perk. Rotate away. Kiriko gets picked. Unfortunate. Pedal. Pull. Freya is safe. Because Freya, one of the unique things about Freya is that she really likes to play an angle that's kind of split from her supports because she could take crazy... What happened to the Stalker there? Because she could play angles that are split from the rest of her supports. So what she could do is she can get pocketed by Lifeweaver on that isolated angle. And if she really gets pressured, she can actually get pulled from that angle. So it's more so than probably any other ranged DPS. You're going to have Freya on a complete island, right? What happened here? So he dies to pulse bomb. Sorry, we gotta. What happens? Oh no, he gets stuck with a wall. Oh no, okay. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, verticality, vision. He might tree this, he's looking for it. Oh, they want to use Kitsune first. Do you see what I'm saying when I talks about like the tankiness? Thank you. Like, this guy is a diva on his face. And he's just like, eh. It's alright. Like you just don't do this. Like, he doesn't even run. He just panic. He just walks out of it. It's fine. That's Lifeweaver right there. Now, is that enough to justify the characters, you know, to be played instead of another support here? No, that's what we're kind of here to learn about, but it just feels so unbothered, right? And yeah, right, then the tree, which obviously kind of sucks to stack support ults here, but yeah, it's fine. Tree's gonna tank that for me. Tree's fine. A little bit of overhealth here. And then crucially, because it gives overhealth and doesn't just heal, you can then play more aggressively with that overhealth. So you can just keep going. And your teammates can just keep going. Beat, we're good. No problem. I mean, he doesn't even have his perk yet. Yeah, so okay, what happens here? Does he fall off? What does he fall off? What the frick is going on here? His pedal doesn't take any damage. Yeah, he just falls off. This is a mistake. He needs to stay on high ground. He just jumped off for no reason. And this is a huge problem with Lifeweaver. You never, ever want to leave your pedal if it gives you a good vantage point without getting poked off. Because he also uses his heal to get off the pedal. So what you do is you could drop off the pedal if you need to for getting dove, but then you want to dash up to another high ground. So you can use the pedal to disengage the pedal to another high ground. And then you actually get the value out of the heal. So he leaves his pedal, uses his heal, and then dies for it. I don't know what was banned on this map, and I'm not really going to fixate on it because this is like not just a strategy pro. It's not a game analysis. It's more of a hero analysis, if that makes sense. We're going to look through a bunch of these codes. There's going to be more codes here, so we have a bunch of codes here. Gets a vantage point. Gets a vantage point. Anchors to the fray. There's that passive heal perk that just selected. So he's going to have that 10 healing per second chronically. And as I said, it's not just about the survivability. It is ult charge because it is just chronically healing you. So you're going to get an extra 5-10% of ult charge between, like every other fight that other supports are not going to get. Like you see, it's already ticking in. There's the dash. He's fine. He's just not scared. He's just absorbing Freya shots, absorbing Juno torpedoes, absorbing tracer dives, and all he gets out of his ult charge. It's ridiculous. He's just absorbing. Look at this. This is so much attention. Freya gets stuck. He can pocket her, rotates with the dash there, and then pulls Hazard out. This is Lifeweaver value, ladies and gentlemen. Now, maybe not the most damage value here, but the nice thing about Lifeweaver is if you're absorbing attention, you don't have to worry as much about doing damage. It's when you're uncontested, that's when you want to be doing damage. So if you are currently playing Dead by Daylight, you're okay. It's when you're not playing Dead by Daylight. Okay, I kind of lost the script of this analogy, but it's when you're not getting contested, that's when you'd be doing damage. There's the isolation from the Freya, yank her out when she gets dove. But he doesn't yank her until she's being pressured. You never ever pull somebody because you don't like their position. You only pull them when they're under a lot of threat. Let them absorb the attention. Look at the support ult charge compared to the other supports. From that passive perk. 95%. Because I don't like that pedal. That's alright. That's a situation where you kind of lay your pedal to the side. Just kind of juke, dodge. Olo should ban Sombra to enable the Lifeweaver. Good to know. Oh, no. Okay, so... I'm fairly certain that it should build ult charge, Saralee. I mean, let's put it this way. I would actually... if somebody can fact check that, that would be great, because all the perks build ult charge. So it would be the exception, not... it would be odd for it not to. And it would be a bug. It would not be a feature. This is unfortunate. This is damage boosted torpedoes. He also gets stuck by Freya, and he just isn't able to full heal quite all the way. And then damage boosted torpedoes plus Diva, and he's unable to tree near himself. The one of the problems here is that the... yeah, I don't know. If it is, that's a bug. He should build ult charge off of that. Now, you'd have to... the perk would be probably beyond broken if it did. Alright, but yeah. Well, the problem then would, Gavin, let me pull up the verbiage then. Lifeweaver Overwatch. While alive, regenerate 10 health per second. I guess... I understand what you're saying. That would be, again, for most perks, for every perk that I know that gives health, it gives ult charge. So it would be, the verbiage is just a bit awkward there. Okay, absorbing attention, living. How long can we live here? I think, given the ult situation, I think this is probably too close. How do I know that? Because the fact that a D.Va is actually able to get onto pedal with her boosters. You would want to play further back here and then pedal yourself up to where D.Va cannot get to you with one booster. So if you're playing versus a heavy dive comp, you don't want to be accessible with one Winston jump. Wrecking Ball's a bit of a different example. Or one Doomfist cooldown. You want to force them to use everything and still maybe not be able to get to you if you're being dove. So the problem here is Ryu Jihong is just a little bit too close. It may be Gavin. Okay, let's see.
The numbers do not favor us.
Yeah, so there's no surprises with the perks. That's the damage perk, I believe.
Something for the sting.
Oh, we're gonna go coast side. We're gonna do something silly here. We're gonna use the verticality here. Use the mobility that this guy has. Gives his Freya an angle. He can pocket that angle. He's not really solo, like you just can't exactly solo push him. Look at that. Like, he gets pulse bombed, right, which is unfortunate, but like, of all the supports, just to be able to just be like, come on, I'm by myself. I have a mega health back. I have a dash, I have a passive, a pocket, and if you overfocus me, I'm gonna be able to pocket probe. That's a really good pulse bomb from Stalker, because if he does not get this this pulse bomb, nothing's happening here. Nading yourself does give ult charge, yes. And yes, Bapting shifting himself does give ult charge. It does. It's a heal. Heals give ult charge. If it's a regeneration that's an amplification of the support passive, then I understand that, but the support passive also doesn't proc immediately. Or permanently. It takes time, so it... Yeah. I'm just being semantics here. It's really not a big deal. Baiting attention, absorbing, living, getting out, punish. No, Winston's bubble does give ult charge. Karaku's video is wrong. Because it doesn't... Because he was healing ult charge from self-damage from Afara, which doesn't count as ult charge. Okay, so he's going to live the dive. He's going to tree. Notice that he doesn't even use his dash. He doesn't want to do two things when one thing does trick, right? So you could tree and just be fine. And then you still have your dash or your pedal if you need to. So that's another good important point here. Lifeweaver players, if you're under pressure... Respond to the threat appropriately. Don't blow everything. I know so many Lifeweavers that would have pedaled, dashed, maybe even just panic pulled just because, help me, right? No, you're fine. You're supposed to live this with tree. You're fine. If there had been no tree, he probably would have pedaled and then dashed. But he had tree. So now if the D.Va comes after him or the Tracer continues to come after him or pulse bombs, he has additional tools. Don't do multiple things. Life grip. Probably needed help there. Yeah, I agree, but yeah, he's just a little slow with the response there. This might be a situation where he should have tracked Pulse Bomb. Rujang crucially seems to be struggling immensely versus Pulse Bomb specifically, which makes sense. Lifeweaver just needs to kind of avoid Pulse Bomb with his verticality and not through just tanking it, right? So, yeah. Lifeweaver doesn't give ult charge in fact change. Okay, so then, yeah, so then I was mistaken. So his passive perk does not give ult charge, crucially. There's that perk procking. Holy cow, that's a lot of damage. It sounds so juicy, too. Look at the sound design. Holding the angle. I think this is a loss, though. Yeah, okay. So, Pulse Bomb issues. Good things, bad things. Let's keep going here. He was... So we have another game here, Gen G versus Team Peps, where Weaver was actually banned on Circuit Royale. Now, we saw Team Peps game here, and I think we saw teams playing Pharah with the Lifeweaver. So imagine the reason why people were playing Pharah earlier is that you can go really aggressively. You know, you can play super aggressive, whether it's with a Pharah or with a Zenyatta, and you can pull them out. The same reason why you could pick Lifeweaver in a very niche situation a year ago is the same reason why you could play Lifeweaver now, but now he's just better at everything else. So we actually see Lifeweaver on circuit because tree is really good on a narrow choke. Shield damage, pretty darn good. You can pocket an aggressive DPS on that map very well, and you don't have to move around a lot. So Lifeweaver seems to be an actual threat that a lot of teams are respecting, especially teams with an aggressive DPS player. Yeah. I saw a really interesting post on r/competitive Overwatch the other day where people were saying, why don't we see Lifeweaver Doomfist? And it was like, you know, you use your Doomfist, use all your cooldowns to go in, you get pulled out. Does anyone want to take a guess why that's not the case? There's a very obvious reason why we don't see Lifeweaver with Doomfist. Very important reason why that kind of gives you guidance about when you pick Lifeweaver and when you don't. Well, we don't see Doomfist. That's true, but like let's just say ignore Doomfist. It would be hard to know what time to pull, sure. Here's the real reason. Here's the real reason, okay? Because you guys make some good arguments, but you're missing the most important one, okay? Doomfist doesn't get rewarded for blowing both cooldowns. It's not much of an offensive spike. Slam is freaking 50 damage. Punch, when he doesn't have empowered punch, isn't really all that lethal. Doomfist, this isn't... you guys have DPS Doomfist in your brain, where blowing all your cooldowns is going to freaking kill somebody, right? Slam damage, uppercut, punch was stronger. There just isn't the reward for blowing all your cooldowns. Congrats, you punched in and then slammed for an extra 50 damage. Nobody gives a frick. So there's no reward for going all in with Doomfist anymore. Unironically, you have a lot more value penning in with Reinhardt, walking to the backline with Diva. Literally, 2/3 of the tank roster get more value of all-inning than a Doomfist does. So there's no point. Doomfist is more about frequent cycles of pressure, getting value out of your weapon, but not really inting with your cooldowns. There's just more, there's no like, unless, even if you have empowered punch, it's just not really worth it, right? So there's just no real reward for it. So the reason why that's important is because there are other heroes that do get rewarded for going all in. A Pharah bowling all of her cooldowns is just inting in your backline. Boy, you could do a lot with that. Putting a Zen on a really deep angle and just greeting that angle to do a ton of damage and then baiting a dive, you could do a lot with that. So you really have to think about what, like even the Freya, we're seeing the Freya is able to hold these super aggressive solo flanks because she's got the Lifeweaver pocket. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that Doomfist doesn't have power off of his engages, but having multiple cooldowns on an engage isn't worth doing. A lot of it's empowered punch in his weapon, but it's not both cooldowns. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. So we saw a little bit of this. Is this circuit, I believe? Let's take a look at this. No, this is Oasis. More Oasis. Oh yeah. I was half distracted during this match. So again, there's usually a couple of bans that enable the Weaver. I do want to highlight that. So Weaver's maybe not the meta, so to speak. But I do think that when some support heroes get banned, they're finding more situations to do it. But this is weird. Verticality here. Going into this match, I do think Geeke, which is the team we're going to be looking at versus Space Station, I do think I think there's an expectation of some sort of dive here. So they're going in, all right, well, we're going to get punished here by Ball, Sombra Tracer, which is hard to play into, all these characters. But, I mean, in theory, Lifeweaver has pretty tanky options, right? Now, I want to highlight something here, and this is something I think I highlighted in the moment when I was just kind of yapping about something else. Who's the fragile? Are we playing just for the tankiness, chat, or are we playing for the fragility? Who's the fragile? Who's the baby? Who's Lifeweaver watching? It doesn't have to necessarily be one person. Sojourn, maybe, kind of, sort of, but I think it's very clearly Bap more so than anybody else. Now Bap is weird. He's kind of weak, But if he can keep him alive, he does a lot of damage. Again, a weird hero pick. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. Like I'm not saying BAP Lifeweaver is the meta, but there's logic here. There's a dive threat. There's verticality. Lifeweaver is more attractive. There's some bans in here, and obviously you have something to babysit here. So, okay, and so yeah. Hey guys, just really quick. Let's limit the questions to Gavin. Like, let's limit it. Like, let's be respectful here. So, if Gavin wants to answer them, that's fine. But like, Gavin is not obligated to do anything. So, why not Lifeweaver EDRA? I don't. So first off, EDRA has a little bit of survivability around her pylon. That means she doesn't need as much of a dive threat. But I also just don't think EDRA. It's like there's not enough reward for the risk, if that makes sense. You know. So, well, the problem with Ana is that Ana. I don't know. You still want some sort of survivability here. Ana is just fallen a little bit out of favor right now because her nade cooldown is so long. So, yeah. I'm not saying that BAP is the best choice here, but yeah. Okay. We're checking for Sombra. Checking for Sombra. What information we have? Where are the threats? Where are the threats? Where are the threats? Where are the threats? Pocket the Winston. Pocket the Winston. The other thing with the Lifeweaver too is that BAP can't really heal the tank and the DPS as easily because obviously like the splash heal is really hard to land at long distances. You notice that he's kind of got like a connective angle onto this, a connective angle onto this. Whatever gets hit, Admiral's going to be there to pocket it. A little bit of damage. There's that lack of spread. This is not easy to do, but there's your lack of spread in the first couple of shots. Watch CJ. Look at that. Like 100 HP immediately chunked right there. It's really good. I can tank that. No problem. Notice the patience. Look at the layering of the defensive CDs there. Throws the pedal down ahead of time. Uses the dash for a bit of HP. Uses the pedal to get out. All that attention is wasted. He doesn't sit on the pedal as much because he doesn't want to stand in front of the Ana's LOS and get shot. So he drops again, rotates away, pockets his BAP. All of this time we're just waiting. I don't understand that pull as much. There need to be better communication about the lamp here. But that's kind of unfortunate. But overall, not too shabby. Notice he's still not dashing. He's not under threat. Why would he dash? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That was a little bit of a misplay there because he's using his defensive cooldowns and didn't get anything out of it, right? So he lost LOS with this BAP, and then he could have pedaled and dashed this to avoid the ball, or at least to avoid the Sombra follow-up. I mean, the damage is really good there, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, stepping off the pedal also means that it's off of cooldown and able to rise sooner. That's true. Keeping his anchor points. Keeping his anchor points. Now, crucially, you guys will not likely play versus Ball Sombra Tracer in Ranked. So you're not going to be playing this defensive, this like Dead by Daylight style. I've talked recently about how in Ranked, I think being much more aggressive on flanks with Lifeweaver is very important in most Ranked matchups because you're likely to be playing versus, you know, Widows and Zens and stuff, and you sitting way back here, so you're just going to get poked out. You need to go use your tankiness. So if your tankiness is not being pressed, you need to press yourself upon the enemy team. Not in the front line necessarily, but on the sidelines. You are so incredibly tanky. This is a very niche situation that you're not likely to find yourself in. Tanks the pressure. There's not a lot of angle control here from these guys. GK. Tree. So nothing. Just use it. Use it. Control point. Shoot. Gets a LOS for that. Wouldn't mind him going high ground, to be honest with you. So this would be a situation where high ground could be unironically be useful. Because even with the threat of being shot here, there's nobody here. This position gives you really good damage, really good vantage point. Just pop this mine here and you're cooking. I don't like Admiral's rotation here as much. Pull. Damage. Damage. Healing. Damage and healing. Pocket, 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 pocket. Constant checking his angles. Gives a better vantage point. Heal, 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 heal. Oh no, Ana, drop. Drop, 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 drop. Use my dash. You can see why he doesn't just sit on pedal AFK. It's very important. Here's Tracer. Gotta be careful. He doesn't have his dash anymore. He needs his pedal. And he uses a really important tech here. So if you guys don't know this tech, The tech is that jumping at the end of your pedal animation grants you bonus height. So check this out. So he's going to pedal, and he's going to jump right at the top, and it actually gives you extra momentum. You see that? Very important tech. Probably one of the most important techs with Lifeweaver because it's not one that's niche. It's very, very, very consistently useful. So you'll get to a lot of spaces that you can't get it. Now what this does is this buys time for him to get his dash. So, okay, avoid damage. Now we dash. I'm surprised he didn't dash backwards to stay on the roof there. He probably should have done that to keep the LOS, but yeah. Is this not a stall in the rulebook? Guys, this Lifeweaver rollout is against the rules. But I mean, look at that. Like, he just lived a two-man dive without an ult. That's it right there. I wouldn't mind a little more damage here. I think there's a lot of attention onto his team right now and maybe the EMP follow-up, but like he's being presented a wrecking ball, and if this guy just pops right in your face and shoots him, you can murder this guy with Lifeweaver. You do so much damage to tanks up close, especially a tank like wrecking ball that's not that lethal to you immediately. Good pull. But you gotta see that the opportunity cost of not looking for damage when given the opportunity is that the ball doesn't go away. He doesn't just disappear when you don't look at him. This isn't like you're not 5 years old playing hide and go seek with your dad anymore. Closing your eyes doesn't work. So I know you're worried about your Winston, but your Winston's got primal. This is your responsibility. You need to punish the dive, not just live it. And this is a huge, like I'm gonna show you guys. You guys are not gonna believe how much damage this gets. Look at this. Now I'm gonna mixture some headshots in here, but with this perk, so you can't just live a dive as Lifeweaver if it's just a one man. You have to find that balance. You can live a dive if there's 3 people on you, but if it's just a one person, you need to live and then punish. And I think, you know, Admiral's played well, but I think this is one moment where I would have liked him to be a little bit more focused on his own value. Okay, so let's, whatever, don't really care. This is the perk that matters. Super Bloom. So this is a slightly lower health pool Wrecking Ball, so keep that in mind. And this is all body shots. That is a huge chunk of his HP. So if I kill him and I mix in a little bit of headshots because he's right next to me. Look at the headshot damage here. Bop, bop, bop. Bro. Bro! Bro! Wake up! Wait a minute. What happened? Okay, we're giving him one more shot. Okay, come on. This is the moment right here. Are you freaking me? Yeah, okay. But if we just... It's pretty good. And the crucial thing with the headshots versus body shots is that the perk passive, you can't see it, but the Super Bloom, the 40 damage, it's irrelevant about whether it's headshots or body shots. So it's still nice to go for headshots, of course, but you don't have to do headshots to get that thing to proc. Hello, Willib. Thank you for the sub. So long story short, like, you need to do 200, 250, 300 damage. You could do that instantly. You take a third off of Ball's health pool really quickly there. And just be like, you don't really want to keep going here. Active defense and all that jazz, right? Which code is this one? Yeah. So again, it's just because he had that threat in his face. We saw that earlier with Sombra. Admiral did a great job of that. But right now, come on. Come on, Admiral. I think the panic of maybe the EMP call and seeing his Winston critical. Shame. Oh yeah, we're a little further in this. Or no, they lost this. Wait, what? Okay, wait. Yeah, because that's right. He lives this dive. We don't get any punish on that Wrecking Ball at all, so Wrecking Ball just keeps going, and so we're forced to life grip, and because he's just uncontested, Kellen is still close to full HP, so he's going to keep going. Finally, we get some pressure in on it. But the damage has kind of already been done. Like, Kellen should have been out of there ages ago. And then we've used our pedal now, so we can't get a good vantage point because we've used our pedal because we should have approached out the ball earlier. Now we can't take the high ground because we can't take the high ground. We can't get the vision on the pole. It's just a big old Western disaster. There we go. Like, great. Nothing's forcing the Sombra to go away. You are forcing the Sombra to go away. You need to shoot her. And he did. That's unfortunate. We didn't have her pole there. Or we did. I don't think we got it in time. Tree's good. You just look at how much attention you could absorb. Don't like that pedal there. I would have preferred him just to stay on the floor and shoot and then pedal when he needed to. But yeah, okay, let's keep going. So, surely the Lifeweaver BAP team that's trolling is going to lose. You're hurting him? Admiral can handle it. All right, let's see what's going on here. So, Sombra Tracer threat still. Verticality there, and that's probably for the tank to be able to take high ground if he'd like to. And he does. Keeping his angles marked. Rotates away from Sombra. Now, I find that odd. I'm not going to lie with you guys. I know Sombra's a bit of a threat, but we know where Tracer is, and so Sombra alone isn't a threat, really. I wouldn't have minded even looking to push that Sombra out. And so that's going to force Lamp because we don't force the Sombra out. I'm being a negative Nancy, guys. There it is. Yeah. If it's just Sombra, man, mess her up. Get her. Get the rat. Get the rat. No! Get the rat! Okay, I guess they trusted it. Okay, we get the high ground here. I guess we trusted our team to be able to handle that then. I don't love that rotation. Would have liked a deepening. So once the Sombra's dealt with, Ram drops, we can actually deepen our angle to get a better vantage point. But we're going to use our pedal to do so and get him out regardless. And then we can angle max top left. This is a little too close. Bye. Love you. Drive safe. Thanks. Oh boy. Okay, we dashed away. So this is, I think, my one critique so far of Admiral's, my biggest critique so far, I think, of Admiral's Lifeweaver, and this is really important. When you have your baby, okay? When you have your baby to pull, when you're pulling a baby, okay? You're yanking the baby around out of trouble, okay? You don't want to be on top of your baby. You'll squish them. You get what I'm saying? But the problem is that if there's like a big old truck trying to run over your baby, you get what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to pull the baby out of safety if you're standing in the middle of the road. You get what I'm saying? Admiral has the pedal, he has the HP and the dash. He even got the pedal angle here, right? To see his baby getting run over by the truck and pull the baby to safety. And if they dive him instead, well, he's built for that. He's fine. You know? This is not the vision or position that you want, because if your BAP gets dove, where are you going to pull him? To the middle of the road. You're in the middle of the road, and you're also giving the angle away. So, Lifeweaver players, when you're trying to establish a vantage point and angle to do damage, to heal, or to pull someone to safety, please do not stand on top of the person that you're trying to save. Create some distance. Create a different vantage point. Create an angle, right? So that you can actually pull them away from the threat, right? Use them as bait. Use your baby as bait, right? Life hack. You know? Use your baby as bait to pull the psychopathic person to run over your baby, and then pull it out, and then they crash and then you don't have to worry about them anymore. Because you're built to absorb the truck driving over you. Your baby isn't. Like, we're still standing here, right? And it's also compressing our ability to help our Sombra here. So Admiral, somebody at Admiral, no, this is not good enough. This is not good. Create some space. Save the baby. Somebody call CPS. Right? Like, they help. Wap it a wap. Yes, good. And then this guy's a baby. Baby pulled. But don't walk towards the baby. Stay away from the baby. You're not pulling the baby to safety if you walk towards it. Trust that your baby's going to walk towards you can pull him. And look at this. Womp. I mean, you get a little bit of heal, I guess. But for crying out loud, pull the baby here. Pull the baby onto the pedal. Like... yeah, see? And then now we leave the baby by himself. Yeah, the BAP is the bait. Oh, he messed up the... he messed up the pedal. I think it's hacked out of it, right? Or no, what happens? What the frick happens here? So you can pedal Orisa's ultimate and lift it here. Oh, the pedal, he does the pedal before the Orisa ultimate to avoid the Orisa ultimate and then trees to block it. Honestly, it's still pretty good, right? Like, you get, again, we've seen consistently the problem with Lifeweaver is the pulse bomb. But that's a lot of attention, and his team is still getting overhealth here. I love you too, Bacon Star. Yeah, so create your range, create your distance, you know? Either use yourself as bait if they want to ignore you and pull your baby to safety, or use the BAP as bait. Yeah, Lifeweaver is really quite easy to pull some. That's definitely something that's standing out. Best Lifeweaver perks are the passive heal and the damage perk, I think we've seen. A little bit of vision here, a little bit of distance between himself and the baby. Now, he didn't dodge the EMP, which is a bummer. But at least he tanked the EMP. Now, crucially here, it's a little bit unfortunate. Like, that's a little bit unfortunate. We didn't dodge the EMP. But at least there's a little bit of distance between ourselves and the baby. A little bit. Don't stand on your baby, please. It's not good. Baby distance here. Baby distance. Okay. No, 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 no! You have your pedal. You're coming up in your dash. You have a passive heal. Moira's dead. Do not run away from Sugar Free. You can handle it. I think there's too much respect given to the Sombra 1v1. I know she's scary, but if you have pedal and know where she is, don't be scared. Don't be scared. You have damage. You're good. If you give her away, she's going to go for you anyway. Do not stand on your baby. Do not stand on your baby. See? Look. You're getting hacked and shot anyway. And you're running into an Orisa instead. And then now you got to pull because you didn't deal with the baby. You didn't deal with the threat. And now you're freaking dead. You should be dead. You see what I'm saying though, right? So what this would look like, let's look at it. So we have vision on a dive character up closest. We're okay. Okay. We walk here. We pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop. She uses translocator. Okay. Pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop. Pedal if we need to. We have dash. We could get the entire kitchen sink to throw at her. And then if something else happens over here, we can pull them to safety. But we're absorbing the attention. With Lifeweaver, you're either absorbing attention or pulling somebody else to safety. You either take the heat for your baby or you pull your baby to safety. You don't run away. Unless there's multiple threats. But as you can see, if it's just one threat, you're screwed anyway. And you see, this is not even a place that this Sombra really wants to be. Sombra's not safe here. Sombra died. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at what we did to our baby! Look what we did to our baby! We pulled her into a pulse bomb! You freaking piped bomb your infant child! What is wrong with you? You don't want to be here! This is wrong! You pulled the baby into the middle of the fight! This is your responsibility. Either you're the one taking the heat so you don't have to worry about pulling other people, or they are under heat and you pull them to safety. Do you see what I'm saying? That's not unlucky. Without pulse bomb there, the Sombra still dies. You are beef. You're Lifeweaver. Lifeweaver hits the freaking gem. Lifeweaver hits the racks, bro. He not only does illegal drugs that heal him, he's also freaking jacked. This guy's built for contests and you know? As long as you have sightlines on your team, you're built to absorb pressure. Yes, come on. No. You pedal yourself up, but you're good. Good. Come on. I want you to hit me. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah. Look at that. Look. I want you guys to look at this from a third person perspective. Okay. This is from our threats. They're all after us. Get the Lifeweaver. Lifeweaver's like, right? Getting pocketed by his baby because there's all going for this guy that is built to absorb that attention. And then they're like, all right, well, frick, let's find the next target. Well, the problem is if you go for that target, Lifeweaver's just going to pull him to safety. Yoink, get fricked. Tuh, right? And still has connections. So yeah, lethals might die here, but oh my days, it was so expensive to kill there. You see that? You see the difference? Absorb pressure, pull somebody else out of that pressure, and then you win the fight. Profit. And these are two ultimates. They use ultimates. Beautiful. Well done. For every resource that you absorb, it's a resource that's not going on your team. That was much better there. But you notice how it started, where it started, with sightlines on our teammates, but we're not running away from threats, standing like in the corner. Okay? Sure, we have a full vantage point here. Yeah, okay, that's that. Let's keep going here. Let's watch a little bit more. Let's a little bit more here. He's so thick and muscular. Yes. Okay, so Freya here. I guess Freya wasn't banned. I guess Freya's just not as good on the other maps here. Could just walk high ground here. Okay, so I would have preferred walking high ground to kind of absorb the dive because you can pedal up here and live a lot. And then that way you can kind of pull Ram. UV is in serious trouble. And you can pull your Cassidy. But I guess we're trying to find a lane for this and a lane for this, right? So we're not really taking a lot of space, but we can see both of our babies. That's good. But obviously we're not really absorbing a lot of attention here either. And then now we've kind of lost vision on both of our babies. Okay, that's good. That's good. And UV trusts it too. Look at that. Like that level of trust is huge, right? UV is now the baby. The baby's bait here. Baby's like, come on. Look at that. Bam. So yeah, I mean, it's opportunity cost. It was wasted time. They didn't get anything out of outside of life rip, right? And now, as long as we keep the distance and keep rotating and don't stack. So like right now, even without life grip, you really don't want to be here. You want to be either moving in back in towards the angle or rotating away. Live the dive. That's great. You'll take the virus. You'll happily take the virus. You're built for it. You got the HP. You got the self heal. That's why I play this only map with cars. Yeah. Look at your babies, look at your babies, look at your tank, look at your cast. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. As long as you have your dash and you respawn, you're okay. You hear her now, so you know where she is. Keep your babies in vision. Keep your babies in vision. Keep your babies in vision. I wouldn't mind a pre-pedal here just in case. Throw the pedal down just in case. It can get hacked, which is a bit of a danger, but if she's using hack on the pedal, it's not the end of the world. We rotate to high ground. Keep where your babies, where your babies. Bit of a distance here. I wouldn't mind rotating a little bit more towards the right here. Oh, I guess we don't have pedal, so maybe not, actually. So we live. Yeah, we just lost too much space. I don't think we necessarily misplayed that. I think the only thing I would critique is I would have liked us to pedal earlier so that we had more tools to live the dive. So that way, you know, when we see this right here, we're not running away. We just pedal right away. And then we can always just dash off and force a distance this way, you know, and kind of go in a different direction. But yeah, we ended up in a small room. She got shoved into the locker. What is the rank? These are pro players. Believe it or not. So we got shoved into the locker. Part of it was also because we just used pedal too late. I makes me want to play a game with Lifeweaver. And I'm so tempted. All right, can we see our babies? Can we see our babies? We can. We can. Wouldn't mind taking a little bit of space here. Swing left a little bit. Yeah! Yeah! Look at that distance between you and the baby. Look at that. Come. And we try to pedal him. Doesn't work. Ah! It was so close. I love the vision. So incredibly close. So incredibly close. Good damage as well. Pull. Almost gets the pedal. It's just like my ranked games. And then just a little slow in the tree. To be fair, he was hacked and virus, so it's very hard to keep him up. But it's honestly, because tree is tree, you could just keep standing here. And as long as you don't get juggled out of the tree, Kellen's trying, man. Kellen is so good. Ooh, I mean, it's a good try. It was almost really, 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 really good. Almost really good. Okay. So many resources absorbed there. And you notice that, like, this fight's still going. Like, it was expensive for them to do that. Pull to safety. Ah, it's unfortunate. Okay. We can absorb that pressure. We have the HP. We have the heal for it. We don't have pull anymore, but we can maybe keep pocketing. Nice little bit of layering with a lamp there. We live the EMP. The EMP is punished. Huge. Huge. Oh, my gosh. He lives. He was 5 HP, I think. Wait, let's see how close I was. Two! Incredible. All right, let's walk forward. We've got our pedal and our dash, so while we can't watch the babies as well, we can definitely absorb more of our attention. So we can't help our Sombra outside of baiting attention away from our Sombra, or giving ourselves a bit of a vantage point here. Yeah, get that damage. That's right. No. Don't stack. Because you're too stacked. Okay, so your team rotates away from you. We pedal up. Good. Ooh, it's scary. That Ana sightline is brutal. Get her! Get her! Get her! Nice. Is it worth even if they aren't playing Freya? Yeah. I mean, Sombra Tracer, Winston. I mean, you're gonna get pushed. They're gonna come after you here, and that is what Lifeweaver wants. It is a lot harder, I find, to play Lifeweaver when you're not being pressured, because you're just nothing really strong, uniquely strong about you. Okay. Yeah, he's got to go to spawn. Myman's got to be careful. I wouldn't run away here. I would be peeking in here, just damage, and just be ready for them to come after you real quick. Yeah, come on. Hit me. I don't like BAP being stacked there. Pedal, absorb it. You took the virus. Love to see it. You took the virus and the jump. We have trees, so we don't have to rotate away. Just... Oh! Okay, so we force the Winston to juggle the BAP away, then pull him back to safety, then tree him. Pull some is absorbed. Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Hang on. My spidey senses are tingling here. Get down, Mr. President! Okay, well, we'll take it, I guess. I think either way, we're probably okay because we have dash and the lamp. So we would have, but yeah, I mean, you could just see like all those resources: pulse, jump, bubble, primal, and yeah. Yeah, just get a better vantage point. You're safe. Huge. Pull away. Use jump. Use bubble. Nope. A waste of time. I'm gonna mind a little bit more damage here on that bubble even. A little bit of panic here. Just get her. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Are there any other major Weaver ones here? We might want to look at that Circuit Royale Weaver here. Maybe we'll look a little bit at the Circuit Royale Weaver here, because it's a bit of a different matchup, because you're not likely to be actively directly contested as much. It's more about how you're helping other people, right? So let's see around here. Third defense first. Okay, we'll take a look here. Lifeweaver does generally better versus dive, but she also might have a favorable matchup versus Freya. Lifeweaver needs something to pull. That's where Lifeweaver really does well. So in these matchups, even though there's not dive, there is something very aggressive and a lot of repositioning stuff to pull. So if you look at this here, his matchup is also good. We'll look at this in a second. All right, I got to peek. Give me 1 second. Do you see how fun this character looks when you're under a lot of pressure? It's really fun. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So, Lifeweaver can also, as we talked about earlier, can absorb Freya's shots without dying, which, I mean, that's a big deal, right? You get kind of abused sometimes, but also you don't die to a 2-tap. So I've already played yeah. So we'll keep going here. So Juno swapped. There's a lot of verticality in this point. So We see Freya. We see... Now, let's again, you guys see it though, right? There's somebody here that might get bullied. Who's our baby here? Probably not Bap this time because he's not likely to get pushed, but Orisa might get pushed. Marissa might get bullied. Orisa's pretty good in the brawl matchup too, right? Because like, let's say there's a bunch of ults being used, like a Juno ult. Orisa can't just jump out, right? So not only do you have verticality, not only do you have Freya matchup to kind of live, but you might be pulling your Orisa too. So let's use our tankiness here. Vantage point, better vantage point for my Orisa. Don't love us dropping here. Little window of damage. I wouldn't mind the Lifeweaver if there was time to be able to rotate out. So notice he waits for the ult to end, then he pulls. He doesn't pull mid-ult because the Orisa has damage mitigation. She needs that burst. So wait for it, wait for it. Bam, right there. Perfect timing. Uses the lamp also being used there is kind of unfortunate, but Orisa doesn't have any more cooldowns. Although she does not enough that's going to versus a high charge Zarya, right, in the Juno ult. So I would prefer from here if Grapes went off to the left side a little bit, opened up a little bit of that angle. And with a DPS would be great. Like if we could see Grapes and like Ryan here, you're not scared of Freya with Lifeweaver right here. He's thinking about it. Yeah. Look at that. 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 Good angle for like he gets the range he needs for his DPS. He can't be punished here. Nice. There it is. You can't pull Orisa during Fortify. How did I not know? How did I not know? Wait, really? How did I not know that? Interesting. Okay. There's a lot of like mobility cooldowns that can break the Fortify. I guess there's just random things I don't know. So they're going to kind of clear off top left. Yeah, they're trying to clear off the top, right? There's that pedal there. Just in case she needs a little bit of vision. Oh! Okay, dive Orisa. Ah! Right there. Okay, I was hoping she'd just go all the way in on the other side. And then the tree split. And they're caught. Now, they don't get fully caught. But that's a really uncomfortable rotation for there. I just wish Jutsu had flanked her on from here. If she had, I think they wipe this. That's unfortunate. I see the vision. You guys see the vision. That's so tragic. Okay. But you know, obviously the overhealth is huge. Like look at the HP bars, right? Look at the Freya, right? She doesn't give a frick. She's 325 HP, right? And then pulled right out of Graph. Beautiful. Good use of the baby principle, and then also finding windows to go aggressively with your HP. Just not during ult. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so you can pull during Fortify. Did you just pedal up? Here you go. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, he's thinking about it, and then they drop, so. I'm glad to hear that, Bob. I'm proud of you, my friend. There's the absorption. I get, bolted by Freya. Nobody cares. Being bolted by Freya, I guess the best analogy I can give you guys is somebody in chat kind of said something similar. It's a lot like being dove. Like, you're like, okay, you're using resources on me. That's fine. As long as I'm being contested. A little bit of feeding charge, and sorry, I don't love that. That feels avoidable. Good pocket from range. Again, you notice as well that the fact that it's so nice to be able to play BAP with the support that can heal DPS from tanks from afar easily. BAP can heal Orisa, okay, because she's kind of slow, but being able to heal the Tracer and the Freya feels really good for BAP, so he can focus in just the Orisa and just his damage. So you're going to notice that a lot, that you're seeing Lifeweaver being played with BAP, even though BAP is not super strong, just because, I don't know if I like that pull. We have a active Fortify, so there's the Myth Bust on the Fortify. Well, does he have Fortify? I think he just Fortifies late. Yeah, he Fortifies and there's an active BAP window. I don't love that. He needs to trust his Orisa to use his cooldowns. Why not do Rack for Lifeweaver? Because Rack is not currently playing professional Lifeweaver. No myth busting here. Pedal just in case he drops and then he can retake that high ground. I like the proactive pedal if he's not being dove. I don't like this either. Again, I don't love how early these pulls are. You're okay. Your Orissa's okay. She will fortify, and then you can pull her afterwards. Let her absorb some attention first. Sometimes your baby is just really freaking strong. Sometimes your baby is meant to absorb cooldowns. Let her use her fortify here, and then pull her. You know? She's fine. She's all right. Don't pull her now. I don't like that. I would have let the Orisa take some beatings there and then pull her later so they don't quickly get to here, right? Let them waste 2 or 3 more seconds here. Let your Freya shoot for free. Because look what happens as soon as he pulls the Orisa. Look at where the enemy team's attention goes. They turn the corner with Rally. Everyone focuses Orisa. Not everybody, but a lot of people. But then as soon as they pull, the enemy team's attention immediately goes onto the Freya and the Lifeweaver. And so then they get forced off of the high ground. Let the Orisa be a punching bag for a little bit. Sometimes your baby is just really freaking strong, like I said. You know? We should be pedaling to take top. We need to pedal now. We needed to get out here. I don't like what Grapes is doing at all. Even with the tree. You could tree your Orisa, but I don't like you being in the middle of the open here. Lifeweaver could just die here. Yeah, this is a huge misplay from Grapes. Not Grapes' best fight. But I think the key thing here is that like you are seeing it, right? It's not good to just look at the pros and say, this is good, because Grapes has done a lot of good. But it's also to say, this is bad, and now you see why. Don't do this in your ranked games. If you're going to tree aggressively, tree it when you get dove on or tree on a squishy. Don't just tree right in the middle of the open. You know? We didn't use our verticality there. We could have done the exact same placement of the tree, but done so from a high ground. Allowed ourselves to do more damage. Either dash off to the side. I would have preferred off to the left, but right's fine too. Okay. Grab time. Good luck, Azur. You're going to have to grab... Oh, boy. I mean, there's a lot to counterplay grab with Lifeweaver here. There's your baby. Look at the distance between Grapes and the baby. It's going to take a lot of time. Notice he's not even pulling right away. He's waiting. He sees shift, then he pulls. But Deflect's already used. Amp's used. Genji's less than half HP. It costs them too much to get that. They should be able to hold that off. Oh. That's unfortunate. Oh, no. Oh, no. I guess it doesn't have pull. Okay, so let me coach this a little bit more in detail here. This pull's fine. I think there needs to be more punish on this here. I think there needs to be more aggression here. Everyone's used cooldowns. You cannot let them get away with this. Use your dash. Smoke them. Don't worry about point. You got plenty of time for point. There's not enough kill pressure on this right here. He needed to go punish that. So he drops the point. Loses his angle. I don't even know what he pedals there, but like, you know, Renko is just getting grabbed and bladed. There's nothing you can do for him. So to be honest with you here, I think even this attention here is a mistake. This needs to be damage. This needs to be damage here. There's a window there to do so much damage or pressure and just missed. So I think Grapes could have carried this one. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay. And then I think Sarah is saying there's some on the first point here, which we can take a quick look at. Let's watch a little bit. Oh, does he know the rollout? All right, you guys want to know the sauce? You guys want to know the sauce? Okay, here's the sauce. Here's the sauce. Pedal. Count to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait for your team. Well, first off, wait for your team to turn the corner till about here, right? Wait till the team is like about to fight, you know. Okay, here we go. Pedal 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk on the pedal. Pedal up. Jump. And I don't think you need your dash. I think you just need to do that tech that we saw earlier. Slide over the roof. Land here. If they're here, pedal yourself, damage, dash, whatever, live, because you have pedal again. And dash out to live, just cause chaos. I mean, you might die, okay? Or, even better, land here, life grip your tank onto the high ground, and then pedal yourself. You're welcome. And I'm so confident that this works. If you're not scouted ahead of time, that I would have done it, I would do it in a pro match. I think it is the optimal play in this situation right here. It's really good. It uses Lifeweaver's tankiness, it uses pedal, and it uses life grip. It's really hard. I actually don't like attack Lifeweaver here because it's really hard to have a DPS go super aggressive and pull out. It's a little bit easier in defense because you have the high ground to start with. I think it's the best way to use this kit. Now, it's awkward if they're on holding on high ground, but you could even, like, for example, with a Freya, it's really good here. You could just kind of go out here and then, like, you're kind of just all-inning here.
Enjoying the view?
Nah, you don't need to calm to your tank. Good tank will know what to do. It's high risk, high reward, but there's a really strong defender's advantage here, so it's worth going for. See, I look at this and I'm like, I don't really know what you're pulling here, right? There's not, you need to see, we're not really being pressed. You notice that? We're not really being pressed. And if you're not really being pressed or your teammates aren't super being pressed, it's really hard to find value out of Lifeweaver. No, it was a different play. It was a Maywall Sim TP. It was, they used a Maywall here and a Sim TP to get up here, and then the entire team went over the roof. And that was already, if I remember correctly, not legal at the time. This is fine. This is legal. This is using your kit. You could pedal with your whole team? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't understand either. Especially as a fellow Florida Mayhem fan, I'm sure. Qualify. We see there's just not enough tankiness here. We don't have a baby to watch because everything's just kind of sitting on cart. And so tree is really good. Yeah, you can see like the damage of tree is crazy. Ah! And maybe the matchup versus Sarissa is really good, but obviously even Grapeston doesn't even play it correctly. There's no intended spot to place Maywall there. Yes, that's probably why it wasn't allowed, is because it wasn't intended to be able to place Maywall there. And again, you can kind of see what's my problem, chat. Why are we standing on our baby? Our baby, once they're on Doomfist, is not just Orisa. Our baby is here. We need to, again, we can absorb Freya attention even. We don't have to be super, super, super scared of Freya. But what's the point of a grip if you're standing on it, you know? You see it? It just doesn't do anything. It gives him a moment of invulnerability, which means that it's not a bad pull there. It just would have been for a better position. Okay. We'll stop there. I guess point being that even despite the... I mean, I think there was a couple of bans that enabled Lifeweaver here, but even though Grapes on this attack specifically isn't really doing anything uniquely Lifeweaver, the damage is still good, the healing is still good, the tree is still good. Any questions? We've talked about a lot. If I could simplify it, for your ranked games, either you need to be under constant threat, like you need to be absorbing pressure, or you need to be in a position where you can take pressure off of somebody else. You need to let somebody else be the baby. Either you need to be the baby because you're a freaking strong baby, or you need to let somebody else be the baby so you can pull them to safety, but you don't want to be standing on top of them. Don't use multiple cooldowns for when one cooldown will do. If you have to, it's fine. Find OW2s to damage. And yeah. Yeah, I got you, Sarah. Thank you very much. And again, shout out to Sarah for putting in the work for all these replay codes. I'm unironically gonna... I feel like I want to play a Lifeweaver game now, man. I think I'm gonna play a Lifeweaver game. Any questions? I want to highlight also, too, that this character is the worst designed character in Overwatch's release ever. Not just strength, in terms of design. And they've done such a good job using the aspects of the kit to make him a lot more healthier. There's still aspects that I'm sure that are very frustrating and are not perfect, far from it. But honestly, they've done a good job. This character has definitely kind of grown into his niche well. So, yeah. Team desperately wants to pull this off in scrims, the coach won't let you. I'm sorry. Okay, man, frick. Do I play a Lifeweaver game? Let's just... let me eat just a mouthful really fast. Let me just eat a mouthful. I'll answer some questions while I'm eating my mouthful. Yeah, I mean, Circuit Royale, you guys can see, one of the things that's making Circuit feel good is because how far away you can help people. Especially with that verticality, right? You know, you can have an Orisa across the map getting destroyed, or a Genji you can pocket from so far away, right? So, yeah. Beef, tomatoes, and instead of It's sweet potatoes today instead, so. Hey, Jackson, I think Lifeweaver feels better with verticality. And I also think Lifeweaver feels a lot better when there isn't a target to specifically push. Like, you can look at Lifeweaver and Brigitte and being like, they're both anti-dive supports. Yes, but Brigitte probably has a slightly better matchup versus a lot of the dive tanks, right? Rip shot's too valuable, rally's too valuable, and so on. But Lifeweaver, well, he doesn't struggle as much versus Safara or a Freya. He doesn't struggle as much if the map has got a lot of verticality or is very broad or long, right? Whereas the Brigitte, I mean, you know versus those characters, just feels tough. It feels tough to do that. Ukami, thank you for the sub. One is about countering the dive, one is about living. Partly. I do think it's a lot more hero specific or map specific. I got it! Thank you for the sub, mate. Best DPS. I got it! Yeah, beef, tomato, and sweet potato.
LW is best DPS.
You can't force out the flankers on Lifeweaver. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but situationally, yes, it depends. I think Brigitte has an easier time forcing out flankers in close range angles. I agree. But more open space, I don't know, it's hard to say. The thesis is that you can with Lifeweaver, but it doesn't feel as consistent on certain maps. Like on that Oasis, I probably would have preferred Brigitte on a lot of those angles because it's Oasis. But Circuit, no. I got it!
Probably got asked already, but are you streaming NIGHTREIGN? Cheers.
My leprechaun goat. Cheers, eh? Ah, that's enough. Yes, I will be streaming NIGHTREIGN on Thursday. FromSoft, a little roguelike. We'll see how it goes. That's my plan for Thursday's stream. Should be really exciting. It looks sick on the trailer. Definitely up my alley. For some reason, I just didn't know what was happening until Caleb was like, my buddy was like, yo, are you doing it on Thursday? And I was like, huh? I had no information about it. I thought it was like a PvP thing. It's not. I got all, so I don't know if I just kind of was living under my rock, I guess. So it's here. I played a little bit of Elden Ring DLC on stream and a tiny bit of Sekiro. I don't know when. Like, Sekiro was probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. But it looks sick. I want to try it out. And I've got a couple of buddies we're going to play it with. The ball to my forehead is visible again. Is it the hook and the hair? Oh, yeah. There. It just looks so uncanny. I hope the bosses don't have 15-second combos. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm still working on that Sekiro script as well, so. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. 7-minute queue. Frick. Oh, is Duskblood's the other thing? Is that the console only thing? I don't know much about that. That, to be honest with you, that's what I thought NIGHTREIGN was. I was out of the loop. Yeah, see, I don't think I'm gonna play that, man. No offense. That's why I wasn't. I avoided the night. I don't. Yeah. Switch only, no thanks. Pass. Hard pass. I'm straight up tempted. I found out. I'm honestly tempted to even do like the Bloodborne thing. You guys hear recently that there's like a pirated one you can do now because you can't play it on PC, and I don't think you ever will. It's like it's a freaking joke, man. Hot take: Elden Ring visually looks bad. That is a pretty hot take, but I respect you for it. Any tips for practicing guitar? I would focus on finding songs that you really enjoy, songs that you enjoy, and learn to play them. I think I would have had a much easier time with my initial pickup of guitar if I played more songs that I enjoyed. Don't just follow like the traditional easy songs. Like, yeah, but also like, it makes learning something more fun if you're doing it for fun. The port is jank? Okay. No, Bob. I'd rather peel my... Never mind. No. I was going to say something about my fingernails, but it's a little grotesque. I'll pass. It's not what you think. When am I going to pipe bomb your hometown? I haven't decided yet. I'll think about it. Mod the 15-year-old? Yeah. Intelligent. Alright. Lifeweaver Deathmatch. How's the game audio? Is it a little loud? I can turn it down a wee bit.
Spend every moment growing into who you truly are.
Cheers, Brady. You too. You have a good stream too, buddy. I should have waited till I got stuck before I dashed. Hey, Ultraviolet started playing Overwatch. Our baby started playing Overwatch. So the one thing I have to worry is I always want to dash aggressively, but it's got... Oh! Right. Pre-placing pedal for fights, UV spiral backline.
I walked into that one.
Playing Lifeweaver today, man? I guess. I was inspired, man. Frick. Wait, we got it! We got it! I want the Weaver! Give me the Weaver! Alright, Lijiang Tower. Ooh, this is gonna be sweaty. Because of the proximity of the map, I'm probably gonna be actively contested a lot more rather than like intergalactic emperoring. I'm not gonna ban anybody. Let's just I'll maybe support my team. It's gonna get banned? Nah. You guys vastly overestimate how toxic people are. I almost never see favorited heroes get banned. Almost never. Cheers, Swift. Yeah. The thing with Loop is I don't think Lifeweaver needs as much work as like Somber Mercy, you know? It's like, and they seem to have like a pretty good vision of where it's going already, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's go. All right. Let's lock it. Let's lock it. Ah! Wait, no way my teammate is a Lifeweaver OTP. Are you gaslighting me?
Spend every moment growing into who you truly are. I need durable volunteers for some kinetic biolite experiments. Can I count on you?
I'm not your best subject.
Ah!
This body isn't
Pull the
built
chest
to
here,
be
guys.
protecting
Pull the
you.
chest here. Aye!
Chase. I insist that you never.
Okay, so I don't really have anybody to babysit as much. Doom Life, yeah, there's not as much to babysit here. So it's gonna be a lot of like a tippy. Well, EDR, I guess. I'll lean towards right side, a little bit of verticality to right side, and better vantage point.
That should do it. I could have done better.
Okay, that's a little unfortunate. It's a little unfortunate.
The odds are against us.
Sojourn's not as much the baby. Need to watch out for Usubu.
Thank you so much.
Now how far can you be the baby? I can't help that. No! Dash too slow. Shoot. So I could have. I wonder if I probably should have pulled my EDRA there. I don't even know if I had sightlines on her though.
A familiar sting of failure. Steady flow.
Really didn't want to pull that. Guys, can we push this? Like, he's right here. Okay, I guess we're not pushing it. Bruh. Team is trolling.
That should do it.
Yes, look at the Cassidy way I'm latencing. No, why is this do this? No! It's going crazy! Alright. Dude, that's... Chat! My bitrate is tanked. Hang on.
Quite nice. Life protects life.
I'm just split. Ooh. This is so annoying. Oh! Yeah, sorry guys for the stream issues. I have no idea what's going on. Nice, Venture. I didn't drop, it broke. I honestly, I'm very flustered right now, so... Oh yeah, it's spiking again. YouTube stream, I might have to end it. I don't know what's going on.
A touch of regrowth.
I have some babies here, so... Help my angle out here. Nice. That was spooky. Dude, my latency, man. I literally am playing him, like... Alright, here we go again. Yeah, Twitch is not fine. Twitch is... it's dropping the red bar occasionally. I'm glad it's mostly fine, at least. I'll keep that. Bro.
We can protect each other
I don't
now.
know if he needed that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know if he needed that. Okay. Frick. I mean, we'll take that, I guess. Could've been worse. I mean, we have EDRA. We can win this. My Venture's getting a ton of picks. And we have like double support ult, or one ult rather. Nice pen. Breaking pedal. Or bubble rather. I just need to play my life here and let my team get value. Nice. Holy crap. I'm stupid Stupid internet thing. Still lagging? How is it now? The latency is still higher than it should be, but...
Hey. Hello. Who's ready to have some fun?
But you saw it even there, like when I died at the Primal, it took them forever for them to kill me, and it took an ultimate, and it took the Lucio too.
One more mission, huh?
Okay.
I'm in.
Alright, if it does conk out, I will have to end YouTube stream, because that's the only thing that seems to work, but I don't really know why, so...
5, 4, 3, 2,
Alright, TP.
round 2. Capture the objective.
I think I go left side
Let's
here.
not draw this out. No matter how amusing it will be.
We're not controlling enough space here. That's the full amount. He's just hemorrhaging at this point. My Ryan has to not go there. What are you guys talking about? Do they have the stupid hair curl thing again? We're just staggering now. I know, you're standing there taking damage, my friend. Frick me. I know, frick you, dude. I meant to pull my Cassidy, but we just get out of the choke, man. Holy crap. I will be... It was bad. I meant to pull my... But I will forcibly reposition you if you're not in the right angle. Like case in point. Oh, I got locked in. Shoot. She should die though.
Engage.
This Rhine is trolling.
Irrepressible.
Should be the same thing again. Okay, we're gonna help you out a little bit. You're gonna come over here. You're gonna do the thing over here, right? Just life hack. Look at that, it worked. All right. Holy crap, this guy is literally on training wheels. I think he's a Doomfist player or something. Look at that. Now we're good. Now we're good. Now we're good. Ah, frick. Frick, my bad.